I've lived in my suburban neighborhood for about 8 years now. It's quiet, mostly families, and up until recently, pretty drama-free. But last year, Karen moved in across the street, the same Karen who appointed herself president of our tiny HOA before she'd even finished unpacking. At first, I didn't mind her constant newsletters about lawn lengths and holiday lights, but then she started pushing community spirit events. Translation, block parties for her friends and relatives, which she expected everyone to accommodate. Last month, Karen decided to throw a surprise birthday party for her sister. Her yard and driveway could maybe handle 5 cars, tops. She invited about 30 people. Naturally, when the guests showed up, they started parking up and down the street. Fair enough, it's public parking. But when my driveway came into play, that's when I drew the line. I drive a big old diesel truck, my pride and joy, and I park it in my driveway every night. That night was no different. Around 7 p.m., I caught Karen's nephew trying to back his minivan right up behind my truck. I stepped outside and asked what he was doing. He just shrugged and said, "Karen said we could park here." I told him, politely but firmly, that this is my driveway and no one parks here but me. He drove off in a huff and found street parking. I figured that was the end of it. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. Saprinkanadas. For edge in it as. Realize wrong. For the circumstance of base. For it's a banter and gang and bike and watchitus. Sharik and bowl of bigots is a sambisher. Software to a reconvection sober touch the spread. Was wrong. At exactly 3 a.m., I woke up to furious pounding on my door. I staggered downstairs in my sweatpants and cracked it open to find Karen standing there in her bathrobe, phone in hand, glaring at me like I'd committed a felony. I didn't even say hi. Just, "You need to move your truck." I blinked. "It's 3 in the morning, Karen." She snapped, "My sister's guests are leaving and one of them needs to park overnight. You're blocking the best spot. Be neighborly and move it." I laughed. "You want me to get out of bed at 3 in the morning so someone else can park in my driveway?" Her face turned bright red. "It's called being a good neighbor. This whole block is part of the community." I told her, less politely this time, that my truck wasn't moving and she needed to get off my porch. That's when she stuck her phone in my face and yelled, "Fine. If you won't cooperate, I'm calling the police." I said, "Go for it," and shut the door. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, I see flashing lights outside. I threw on a hoodie and went back out. 2 officers were standing with Karen, who was theatrically wringing her hands like I'd stolen her lawn gnome. The senior officer asked, "Sir, are you refusing to let your neighbor park in your driveway?" I couldn't help but laugh. "That's correct, because it's my driveway. I don't know how this is an emergency." Karen jumped in. "He's being unreasonable. It's community property. He can park on the street." The officer looked at me, then at my truck, then at Karen. He sighed. "Ma'am, driveways are private property. He doesn't have to move anything." Karen shrieked, "He's violating HOA rules. He's obstructing community parking." The other officer politely explained that the HOA doesn't have authority over my driveway, especially not at 3 a.m. When Karen kept ranting, they gently suggested she go back inside or risk being cited for misuse of emergency services. She stomped off, screaming that she'd have me fined, sued, and thrown out of the HOA. Good luck with that. I pay my dues, keep my lawn neat, and don't break any rules. The next morning, I got a passive-aggressive flyer on my porch titled, "A Friendly Reminder About Sharing Driveway Access for Guests." I framed it and stuck it up in my garage for laughs. These days, Karen mostly glares at me from her porch, but she hasn't knocked at 3 a.m. again, probably because the whole block knows she woke up the police over a parking spot that wasn't hers. Moral of the story: my driveway, my rules, even if Karen thinks she owns the whole street.